something new today. Got a new camera and a fun tripod, so I'm kind of walking around the campus and just going to talk a little bit about the test that we have for this week. And yeah, instead of just being in my office, I thought I'd try walking around. I don't know if you've been to our campus, but we have this cool new mural that we had put up here in the math hallway. It's pretty cool. So if you're ever here, stop by, check that out. Just a couple of things that I've noticed about this exam in years past, and I just really wanted to emphasize them. First of all, in chapter 4, when we're talking about correlation, lines, regression, there's really only a few questions that could be asked there. And so you kind of know what to expect. You have to find the least squares regression line. You have to find the linear correlation coefficient, draw a scatter diagram, scatter plot, make sure that it's labeled correctly. Let's see, what else could we have? The correlation, we talked about that. The coefficient of determination. We could have residuals, residual plot, analyzing residuals, outliers, are they influential? So those are really certain types of questions. But when it comes to probability, we know we have all these probability rules. We've talked about those before. The problem is there's so many different variations. So this is where you need to absolutely 100% need to look at all of the different practice problems that are available to you. See, the thing is, we talked about this earlier when we were doing the probability videos. There's just so many different rules that you can't know exactly what the problem is going to look like. The only way to get comfortable with it is to try all of the different practice problems I've given, both the two from those weeks, week 6 and week 7, and the exam practice exam that you have with those solutions, and the online lesson, the examples that I've created. Those are the problems I'm going to draw from when it comes to those probability questions from chapter 5, which typically give students the most trouble on this particular exam. So there's lots of examples there. That's the best advice I can give, is do all of those examples, do them a couple of times. On the exam, you're only going to have 5 of them, but you don't know which ones they're going to be. So you have to make sure you've practiced all of those so you know, oh, this is an independence question. How do I test independence? This is a probability question where it's combinations because order don't matter. Order doesn't matter. So you make sure that you look at all of those different examples and are comfortable with those. When it comes to chapter 6, you kind of know a little bit more what to expect. 6.1, we have probability distributions, so you know you're going to be asked about an expected value for those and how to interpret that expected value. We talked a lot about that. And then 6.2, binomial probability. Definitely can expect a binomial probability question with either an explicit probability or an interval probability, and then maybe an expected value there as well. Be sure you're comfortable with the StatCrunch calculator and know how to use that during the test. So that's it. Last thing, be sure if you are testing at another location other than ECC's testing center that you touch base, remind me so we can get that set up and in place for you.